Hey guys, today I was going to do a video about indoor and outdoor seed starting, specifically the lighting and the heat requirements of both. However, that was probably going to end up being a long video, so I decided to split it up into two parts. So today we'll talk about indoor seed starting, lighting and heat requirements and methods. And then tomorrow we'll have another video and I'm going to talk about outdoor seed starting, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step walkthrough tutorial of how I built my new cold frame, kind of like a mini greenhouse to get your plants started outdoors, but with some protection, and then a couple of different levels depending on if you're in a more mild climate or a little bit heavier winter climate. The cold frame is super simple, super inexpensive, and that'll be tomorrow. So let's get started with indoors today, though. Hey, I'm Brian with Next Level Gardening. If you're looking to join an online garden community that offers tips, tricks, and support to help you take your gardening to the next level, you're in the right place. Get started now by clicking subscribe or hit the bell so you never miss anything. Now let's get growing. So for some lucky people, you might have 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight in a south-facing window in your house, which is great for seed starting. You don't need anything else other than that. It needs to be direct, and it needs to be 6 to 8 hours. I have an entire wall of windows right here. However, they face northwest, so they're not doing me any good in terms of seed starting. Probably great for indoor plants, but not seed starting. If you get anything less than 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight in your window, you're going to need to supplement with some type of light. Now, this confuses a lot of people, it intimidates a lot of people, but it really doesn't need to. There are options for every budget. I'm going to go through it in terms of budget right now, and just know that some things are something you could have laying around your house right now. All right, so I'm going to go through the options from most expensive and most reliable to least expensive and still pretty reliable. They're going to involve a little more of a watchful eye from you, the gardener. So starting off, probably no surprise if you've been watching me for a while, we're going to talk about a professional grow light. And I use and recommend the VIPARSPECTRA products. And so many of you have either bought VIPARSPECTRA because of my recommendations or won one of the many VIPARSPECTRA grow lights we've given away on this channel over the past year or so. And I've heard from a lot of you that just say how much they've changed everything in terms of seed starting and indoor growing. So with professional grow lights, the real upside to them is that you don't really have to worry if they're getting the right type of light or the right amount. It's very easy to adjust, at least with VIPARSPECTRA. Some other brands are not quite as easy. I'll get to that in a second. These types of lights can cover an area or light up an area in terms of strength that the plants need about twice their size. And so they have smaller ones and they have bigger ones. So depending on your area, you can figure that out. But you're going to get a lot more surface area of growth from these lights because they're more powerful. And for seedlings, it might even be more than twice the size of the actual light that it would cover, because seedlings need a less intensity than if you were, say, growing a full-size tomato plant, through the fruiting stage. You're going to need more intense light. So there'd be less plants under that light. Does that make sense? So with these lights, it's rarely going to be a matter of them getting too little light. You just don't want them to get too much. It can become very intense. You want to start by hanging the light about 2 feet above the leaves of the seedlings. Now I use this hanger here. I found it on Amazon. I've had it about a year now and it's worked great. It's pretty inexpensive. Everything that I mention on this video, I'm going to link down below on my website under products I love. And then some of these things will have a discount as well. All the VIPARSPECTRA products have a discount for our viewers, which will be down below in the video description. So you start by hanging the lights 2 feet above the leaves of the plants and at 50% intensity. VIPARSPECTRA, as far as I know, is the only one that I've seen that has a dimmer knob on every light. And that allows you to take it from very low intensity to very high intensity, depending on what you're growing. And it's just going to take a little bit of finesse in the beginning to make sure that you're giving your plants, like I said, it's not usually going to be not enough light, but not too much light. And there's some signs to watch out for that your plants are getting too much light. The first thing is leaves, the leaves of the plants pointing upward, not laying flat like this, but opening like, or pointing up toward the sky. They look very unnatural, so you'll know it pretty soon. Also, you want to watch out for bleaching. Bleaching happens to typically the leaves closest to the light. You're going to get them turning kind of a white and yellow color. That's not good. Or you'll see the veins remaining green while the rest of the leaves bleach out. Any of these signs, and you want to turn the knob down. Turn it down, maybe 25%, and just see. Now, in the future, once you've done this one time, and know for your situation, then just make a note of it, and you shouldn't have to change it ever again. I do pretty good with 2 feet above at a 50% intensity. I've rarely had to change it from there, but I do want to put in there to keep an eye on it just so you can watch out for your particular environment that you've got those seeds in. Now, maybe if you turn it down to 25% or down real low, you might have a problem where they're not getting enough light, and you're going to know that by them stretching out. So the stem of the plant keeps growing while the leaves kind of remain the same. And at that point, it would just be those first 2 cotyledons, the first 2 seed leaves that come out, and that stem is going to be stretching toward that light. And you want to catch that really quickly, because once it goes past the point of no return, there's no saving those seeds. You'll have to start over. The only exception would be tomatoes. Tomatoes do make roots all along their stem. So if they do happen to stretch out, fill them in or plant them in something deeper that you can fill the container up with soil around that stem, and most likely your tomatoes will be okay. Everything else, though, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to start over, unfortunately. Now, the price range for these professional lights is anywhere between $80 and $400. For the VIPARSPECTRA products, you're going to find that most of their line falls between $100 and $150. And so that's really a mid-range price, for mid to lower range price for your professional grow lights. And then again, we do have the Next Level Gardener discount, which I will leave down below. Now, if your current budget doesn't support that price range at this time, there are other affordable options. They will, like I said, they'll take a little bit more time and energy from you to just keep on top of moving the seedlings to where they're always within 2 inches, not 2 feet, 2 inches of the light source. They've got to be right there on top of those leaves to get the intensity of light that they need. And you can get this through several different types of bulbs. The long, like shop lights that might hang in your garage, they could be fluorescent, they could be LED, either one of those will work. A receptacle like this, which holds maybe a CFL bulb, or they have LED bulbs for this as well. Any of those will work. However, not just any of those, any will work. They've got to be the specific type. So LED bars or bulbs, fluorescent tubes, CFL, fluorescent spiral bulbs, if they even make those anymore. But to make sure the one you're getting is one that's going to support plant life, it's got to have the correct numbers on the box. And we're not talking wattage. We're talking lumens and Kelvin. Both of these are listed on most boxes. And just so you know, the box does not have to say grow light or made specifically for plants. It doesn't have to say that. That just allows them to bump the price up. So the numbers are on the package, and you want the lumens to be 1500 to 2000 lumens. Lumens is the intensity of the light, how much light is being emitted from these light sources. And you want the lumens, it'll say it right on the box, to be 1500 to 2000 lumens. The second number you're looking for, usually listed right next to lumens, is Kelvin. And Kelvin is the color temperature of the light. not like how hot it is if you hold your hand up to it, but the actual value of the color temperature that comes from the sun. And you want that to be between 4,500 and 6,500 Kelvin. If your light bulb, no matter what shape it takes, has those two numbers, you're good to go. But again, you need to keep that light source within 2 to 3 inches of the tops of the leaves at all times. So that means either lowering or raising the light as the plants grow taller, or leaving the light where it is and maybe having them stacked up on bricks or books or something, the seedling trays, and then take a book out every so often. So as the plants grow taller, the soil or the tray gets lower, and it keeps that canopy of leaves right there under the lights. So like I said, the main difference in the two, they both will support either the professional grow lights or these other types that I was just talking about. They'll all work. It just depends on your budget, and are you a helicopter type plant mom or dad that will make sure those plants are within 2 inches all the time of the light source, or do you just want to kind of set it and forget it? A couple more little quick things you want to do if you're growing indoors. You want some airflow. If you don't have airflow, it's going to lead to fungal diseases, damping off, fungus, gnats, just all kinds of things you don't want to have to deal with. A great way around that, or to at least minimize it, is to have an oscillating fan in the area of your seeds. You know, one that kind of turns and spins on low all the time, just keeping the airflow going through there. It also exercises the plant stems. As they blow in the breeze, they're getting stronger, so they're going to be more robust. So there's two good things about having a fan in the area. It also dries out the top of the seed soil so that fungus gnats don't really have a place to go. They want damp soil all the time. And then one final thing is a heat source. Now, not all plants need a heat source. And of course, if you're starting outdoors, which we'll talk about tomorrow, or if you're starting in your house where it's already, semi-warm all the time, they may not need that. Peppers are one, though, almost no matter what time or where you're growing them, they can benefit from some bottom heat. Peppers, especially hot peppers, take a long time to germinate. And so that bottom heat is going to really jumpstart their growth. It is turned off, though, once the seedlings are germinated and up. You don't need that heat mat anymore, but a heat mat is a good thing to have. They're relatively inexpensive. I would recommend spending a few more dollars and getting one with a thermostat that you could keep to about 75, because I have seen some or heard some stories of some that can go up to 80, 85 and just fry your seeds, and you don't want that. Again, all the ones I use are on my website, linked down below. So I hope I gave you some good options, something for every budget, and how in tune you are and on top of your plants you are to keep an eye on them at all times. You can go ahead and choose from those choices. Again, tomorrow we're going to be talking about seed starting outdoors, even if it's not time yet in your area and you still have some frost. We're going to be building that simple, inexpensive cold frame that should last for years to come. I'll see you then.